Overdid as a 4 minutes.
Call this special meeting of the Municipal Council to order at 7:01. Please stand and join me in a salute to our flag. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mr. Withers, would you kindly read the notice of tonight's special meeting?
Certainly will. June 10th, 2019, to the members of the Municipal Council from Mark J. Cooper, Council President. Councils, by authority of Article 2, Section 2-7C of the Attleboro Home Rule Charter, I hereby call a special meeting of the Municipal Council as follows. Date, Tuesday, June 25th, 2019. Time, 7 p.m. Place, Council Chambers. The purpose is to address any outstanding urgent or time-sensitive matters prior to the end of the fiscal year and any other legal matters that may come before the council. Sincerely, Mark J. Cooper, President. CC Mayor Paul Heroux.
Thank you. Just to give you all an overview of what's happening tonight, it's a little different and will be the similar format for the months of July and August, as we're in a different, we follow a different schedule for those months. In a moment, I'm going to ask for a motion to recess. We will recess and we will go into committee meetings. You all do your committee meeting work. We'll call the council back to order and we'll vote anything that needed to be voted as a result of the mayor's last communication or to wrap up this fiscal year. Any questions or comments about that? Great. At this time, I'd entertain a motion to go into recess.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We are recessed at 7:03.
I would like to call the Personnel and Human Services Committee to order at 7:03.
No mayor's communication.
And the motion that I would like to make from the docket of June 25th, 2019, I would entertain a motion to approve the request of the mayor to confirm the appointment of Toby Reed, 27 Lamb Street, to fill an expired term on the Board of Library Trustees, term to expire February 2022.
Second.
Thank you. What I would like now, before we vote, is I would like to invite Toby to come up to the podium and introduce himself, share his interest, and a little bit about his background.
Thank you, Mr. Waterman. Mr. Chairman, members of the council. My name is Toby Reed. I've been an employee at Attleboro High School for this is my 20th year. I was a history teacher for 17 of those. 9 of those I was the social studies coordinator. During that time I oversaw the department. I think I made some pretty good hires during that time. And then 3 years ago I transitioned into the career technical education department, where I am now the criminal justice instructor working in the CT department. And I also have 2 children, Malcolm and Zoe, 2nd and 4th grade at Thatcher Elementary. My wife is also an English teacher at Attleboro High School. She's the English coordinator. So I'm a parent, I'm obviously a community member, I'm an employee, and as an educator I feel like I can bring some connections from the school system to the library and make some connections there, help out there. And I'm really excited to get an opportunity to help out in the library system and give back to the community and overall just be a part of the city of Attleboro. So thank you for your consideration.
Great.
Thank you, Toby, and you can hang for a second, if you would, please.
Well, sir.
Would anybody like to make any comments or questions? Councilor Blair.
Just to thank you, Toby. It's, you're gonna bring some great qualities to the library trustees. Get great background in education, which will give you a step up in understanding library situation. So I think we're honored to have you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Toby, thank you for coming out and volunteering. I've heard nothing but good things about the criminal justice program at the high school and whatnot. So it's good to finally put a name and a face with that. So And I look forward to hearing about great things, so thank you.
Thank you. You're invited in at any time. 146C, right down the bottom of the ramp on the right. Come on in.
Thanks.
Counselor Dolan.
I just want to thank you as well, and I think you'll be a huge asset for the library, and if you could extend that invitation to me, I might actually go. I would love to.
It's open to
I
everyone.
would love to go down there, but it was very nice to meet you tonight, and I wish you luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Counselor Holmes.
Thank you. Mr. Reed he's been a mentor to my husband for some time on a personal level, but I have some prepared statement. He was a department head, as he mentioned, to the social studies and now is leading the criminal justice CET at the high school. This class is highly regarded by many students. He has worked to engage the local public safety workers, including local police departments and attorneys, to work at engaging the students at the high school. His class is sought after by many students, and I've heard them speak positively about the mock trials he does, as well as the clubs he leads. I think he has an interesting perspective on teaching and engaging the community as well. Whatever he decides to put his energy into grows the community in a positive way, and Attleboro has benefited from his efforts. He's also involved in Keep Attleboro Beautiful, his whole family is. And if he's interested in joining the library board, I know that the board will benefit from his perspective. For these reasons mentioned, I will support this appointment. Thank you.
Nice words. Anybody else? Yes, please.
It's hard to follow that up, Councilor Holmes.
I typed it up and thank you.
Well said, well said. But Toby, you and I have known each other for a while as well, and I think with the changes that are going to be happening over at the library with the space and use studies and the involvement that will happen in that collaboration that will lead, I think you're an excellent addition that will help us make the right choices. So welcome aboard. Well, not yet, but I'm pretty sure you have everyone's support on that.
I don't know about that.
One more, and it sounds like a majority to me. I would say that you're heading into a new era at the library, and you're probably quite aware of the study that was just completed and some of the issues. Do you have any thoughts about that new era?
No, but that I'm going through it at the high school with, I was on the committee with Councilman Blair for our vision and seeing the process there and working with Mr. Jacoby and all the other members of the building committee for the new high school. I feel like I'm in a place where this is not too in my recent past, and I'm able to bring some thinking to that. It's an exciting time for
Yes.
the library in general, not just in as far as the new building, but in how libraries are used and how libraries are seen as a kind of a hub for the community. So I think the changing of how the library is used is going to be also an exciting time.
Thank you. Good words. Would anybody else like to say? Okay. Councilor DeLucia.
I think I'm gonna have to break the conversation we had earlier, because based on everything that we've seen, I think you're gonna be awesome. I really do. And just meeting you earlier, the disposition, and I think the experience you bring, I think you're gonna be a very welcome addition. So I think the streak continues.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we appreciate you coming up, and we're going to have a vote in the committee in a second.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you. So all those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye. There are none opposed. The motion passes. I'll do these in order. It won't take long, I don't think. From the docket of June 25th, 2019, I entertain a motion to approve the request of the mayor relative to the Community Development Block Grant for fiscal year 2019 for approximately $12,652 and approve the expenditure of such funds and any further grant amendments by the Council of Aging. This is a grant that has been received for our SHINE program, and just to approve that we may be able to use it. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you very much. All those in favor?
Aye.
Passes 3-0. And also from the docket of June 25th, 2019, I entertain a motion to approve the request of the mayor relative to the fiscal year 2020 formula grant of approximately $94,812 and approve the expenditure of such funds and any further grant amendments by the Council on Aging.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Discussion.
Hey,
Oh, excuse me, there should be discussion, yes.
I don't have anything to say, but.
Thank you. And my comments will stand for all three of these motions. These grants are so vital to the success of the Council on Aging, and we heard Madeline McNeely come down last month, talk about the programs, the staffing that they go for, and you know, every year that we're able to vote these out and vote affirmatively for these, it's another year that we know that these programs are gonna continue, because Madeline certainly has her hands full and challenges to overcome, and she does it wonderfully with her staff and the entire Council on Aging. So I think these are incredibly crucial to the community and to the subset of the population that it goes to benefit, so.
Thank you for those words. I would like to echo that. Madeline does a superb job and is a really wonderful grant writer, and we're so fortunate to have her with us. Are there any other questions or comments, discussion? All those in favor?
aye.
It passes. And finally, fourth, from the docket of June 25th, 2019, I entertain a motion to approve the request of the mayor relative to the fiscal year 2020 Shine Grant of approximately $97,107, and approve the expenditure of such funds by any further grant amendments by the Council on Aging. I think we missed a word or two in there.
Second.
Thank you very much. Any discussion on this grant? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
And I say aye, and the vote passes. Now, from the docket of June 25th, 2019, I entertain a motion to approve the request of the mayor to confirm the appointment of Thomas Matos, 42 Linden Street, Unit 2, to fill an unexpired term on the Personnel Board, term to expire February 2022. Tom, would you be willing to come forward and share yourself with us?
Good evening,
Do I have,
councilors.
1 second, do I have a second on that
Second.
motion? Thank you. We'll hold the vote, and now you can talk.
Thank you very much for your consideration tonight. My name is Tom Addos. I reside at 45 Linden Street. I came to the city about 2 years ago.
Right.
I am professionally, currently, I am the controller at the Rhode Island School of Design, and for the last 7 years. Prior to that, close to 20 years, I worked in municipal government. Longest was in town of East Greenwich for over 10 years. Where I oversaw all the personnel matters as well as anything with the finance, budgets, setting tax rates, everything from that side. I just believe about giving back to the community that you live in, and it's a great opportunity to, especially in the personnel area, I think a lot of people overlook that. It's a vital part of any city. Without the people who work for the city and who do the jobs, we couldn't do. We could not function. And I think a lot of people overlook the personnel area. So I believe my experience can really help in this area, especially not just with personnel matters, but also in the health area. Healthcare has, skyrocketed as far as that, and I think that anything related to that, I could be a really great asset to the city.
Thank you for your words. If you would stay at the podium a minute, would anybody like to ask a question, comment, discussion, please?
Tom, it's nice meeting you earlier tonight. You can't beat those credentials, and I agree. I know that the Personnel Board has made its resurgence within the last 7 to 10 years. So it's nice to have someone with your credentials coming to the board. I think you'll bring a lot. So thank you for volunteering, and it's greatly appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Well, I absolutely agree with you. A personnel board that is very solid and can be helpful to the personnel of the city is one of the most essential boards we have, in my opinion. So I thank you very much.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I also say aye, so the vote passes. And Our last motion from the docket of June 25th, 2019, I entertain a motion to approve the request of the mayor to confirm the appointment of Randall Vincent, 17 Westbrook Lane, to fill an expired term as the Inspector of Wires, term to expire February 2022.
Second.
Thank you. Randall, thank you very much for coming up here
Hello,
tonight.
Randy Vincent, 17 Westbrook Lane in Attleboro. Want to know a little bit about myself?
Sure, tell us.
Born and raised in Attleboro, graduated through the Attleboro electrical program. Been doing electrical work since then. I run a small business in Attleboro, and I look forward to continue working with Billy McDonough as the electrical inspector, working with his team.
Anybody like to? Councilor Blair.
A few kudos to Mr. Vincent. We go back quite a ways. Randy wired my house 20 years ago when I first met him. I know he graduated with my son, didn't he?
Yep.
From high school, but up until I met him professionally, I really didn't know him. But his talent is unbelievable. He's an artist in his trade, and being an artist in his trade, as a wiring inspector, I know things are going to be right when Randy looks at a building or a house or whatever, which in turn is protecting the public in Attleboro. So I'm glad that you're coming aboard, Randy.
Thank you for the words.
You're one of the best. We're lucky to have you.
Thank you, Councilor Delizio.
Thank you. Randy, thank you for volunteering, and you know, your reputation precedes you. And, you know, I'm not just saying that because, like Councilor Blair, you wired my house, and it's meticulous. Your work is meticulous. You take a lot of pride in it. And I think with the development we have going on, this is, it just makes sense, and I think that the city's lucky to have you. So thank you very much.
President Cooper.
Thank you. Again, not to beat a dead horse, but he did mine too. And, but I want to tell you sort of a funny story about when I met with the builder, and any of you that know Lewis sort of will understand the story a bit. So when we were interviewing builders to build our house on West Street, it was always how's the plumber, how's the electrician, how's the this, how's that, how's the flooring guy, how's the framer, right down through the whole thing. And when we were asking the builder about the electrician, he said, this guy is so particular that every screw in your house on the faceplates is gonna be facing in the same direction. Doesn't let it be that one's going, one's like this, one's like that. And guess what? He was absolutely right. That's the way it was done. So if you're that way with the work that you do, and you're that way with the inspections that you do, I think we're in great hands with the work that you'll do for the city, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilor Dolan.
Okay, so you didn't wire my house. I'm very upset about it because not only are my screws not facing the right direction, my plates aren't even level. They're not even straight. So now I'm just annoyed, so congratulations.
Now we know who to call.
Does anybody want to
Well,
top
it's too late
that?
now. For me, anyway.
Okay, not seeing any other discussion. Thank you very much for coming up here tonight.
Thank you.
And before you sit down even, maybe, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Vote passes, goes on to the council. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So that concludes the business of the Personnel and Human Services Committee tonight. I'll call for adjournment. Second?
Second.
Second. All right. We are going to hold our next committee meeting at the most appropriate time. Thank you very much.
I'd like to call the Public Works Committee to order at 7:20. I have 4 items to discuss this evening. From the docket of June 25th, 2019, I entertain a motion to approve the request of the mayor to appropriate $20,000 from account 6000-359000 wastewater enterprise fund retained earnings to account 6000-530101 wastewater enterprise fund professional services for an unexpected legal bill incurred this fiscal year by the wastewater department.
Second?
Thank you very much. So, there's an abutter of the new landfill cell that had filed a lawsuit against the city. and they are still ongoing legal negotiations. And in speaking with Tom Hayes, our superintendent of wastewater, the city solicitor, they are months behind on sending us their billing. So they just got a bill for the month of April, and I'm sure there's going to be more forthcoming because the litigation is still going on, which we can't discuss. But the good news is that they had won the injunction on this case, and now the abutter had appealed it. So we're going to have probably more bills for this. But right now, the bill that Mr. Hayes received was around $10,000. So he just asked for a little extra, so he doesn't have to come back to us right away. And obviously, if there's any left over, we'll just put it back into the retained earnings account. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. From the docket of June 25th, 2019, I entertain a motion to approve the request of the mayor to transfer $300 from account 1124100-578300 Citywide Reserve Fund for transfer to account 1420100-578020 Public Works Bill previous year to pay a DPW fiscal year 18 invoice. Thank you very much. So this bill obviously is for $300, and that Elgin sweeper, street sweeper, that little monster that we talked about a lot, at one point broke down last year in February 2018, and this is a bill that Sterry Street Towing had sent to us to pay for towing that wonderful monster back to our garage. Any questions, comments? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Thirdly, I entertain a motion to approve the request of the mayor to transfer $6,000 from account 6100-55330 Water Enterprise Fund Chemicals to account 6100-530101 Water Enterprise Fund Professional Services to pay for security cameras for the water pumping station and the water treatment plant.
Second.
Thank you. As you all know, last week this came down as, in the mayor's communication, as an emergency, which got shot down, which I'm happy that it did for that, just because it was not an emergency in our eyes. But there are cameras at the Luther pumping station. There are, they're at the Russell Tennant pumping station. There are some cameras there. They want to add 2 others. They have had break-ins. And they want to add them to the Luther pumping station, because since they redid all that, they've already had a break-in as well. So that's what these cameras are for. Yes, please, Ms.
I just
Councilor
have
Reynolds.
a question. I had heard that the cameras are already up. Is that the old cameras, or are the new cameras already up?
My understanding is that there are security cameras at the Russell Tennant treatment plant, but not at the Luther pumping station.
So that's
So
what this money is going to,
It's
Luther.
going to the Luther to put cameras up, but then to also replace one broken one at the Russell Tennant, and also to add one, which is on the outskirts to looking down at it as opposed to looking into it.
So they haven't done it yet. They're waiting for this money.
Correct. That's my understanding. Yes, that's, yeah. Yes, Council Blair.
I'll pass on that, but just so it doesn't sound like sour grapes, but they've already gone ahead with the camera work.
Oh, I wonder how they paid for it then.
That's what, my comment exactly.
I had not heard that.
I heard it, but again, the grapevine, so I'm just checking it out.
Contractor's gotta get paid, so. But it's not protocol, and that's not the
Well,
way
that's
it should be
obvious.
done.
Well, that's quite obvious, and I would not know that unless someone
No,
would call me and tell
there's-
me that.
Somebody
Yeah,
just-
No way you would.
right.
But we're gonna let you say something to them, Kate. That's what.
Oh, you better believe it.
I know you will, and that's why you're good
Give
at
me a
what you
bottom
do.
dollar, I am. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. And lastly, from the docket of June 18th, 2019, I entertain a motion to change the street name for Fuller Ave South to Harper Way in Attleboro.
Second.
Thank you. And Ms. Parika, would you like to offer up a friendly amendment? Because I know you have been in constant contact with the family, I should say, with regards to Hopper Way. And it was nice to have him here to speak in favor. We had nobody speak against it at the public hearing. And as we all know, and you did all the work yourself, it just came into my committee. You've spoken with all the department heads and everybody's okay with this. They're gonna notify the postal service, and Mr. Hopper is gonna take care of everything himself, paying for his deed to be changed. The address is no other property owners on there that have any that have to change their address as well. But he's gonna take care of anything that's financially responsible to him. So,
Thank you, Councilor Jackson. I would like to make a friendly amendment to change the name from Harper Way to Harper Lane. That is Mr. Harper's wife's preference as opposed from Way to Lane, and I like it, so. And he's been very, they've been very easy to work with. You know, they came to Virginia's office with a concern. I happened to be sitting there when that happened, and it's been an interesting journey to learn about all of this information, and I'm happy for them.
thank you. Do we have a second on the friendly amendment?
Second.
Thank you very much. So as amended, I'm just going to read that again, that I entertain a motion as amended to change the street name for Fuller Ave South to Hopper Lane in Attleboro.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Oh, excuse me. Oh, yes.
Thank you, if I could. I think this is a great opportunity where, no, in full disclosure, I know Ted and Ashley used to be neighbors. They actually lived in the same complex as I did before they moved. So, I know they'll be very happy if this passes. It's something I'm going to urge my fellow councilors to pass, especially, and thank you, Vice President Parika, for making the change to Way to Lane. I know that's something that's very important to Ashley. This is a great opportunity where, for government to get out of the way and let people do what they need to do to impact and better the quality of their life. It might seem like a simple change until they don't get their mail, until they have to drive, different places out of their way to get their Christmas gifts, which happened, to get the swing set for their child, which happened. So I think this is one of those situations where government get out of the way, let the resident do what's best for the resident. So thank you both for ushering this through.
Thank you, Councilor Delacio. Any other comments, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Great, opposed? All right, that motion passes. I would ask for kind adjournment at 7:29.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned at 7:29. Thank you.
Capital improvements in city development will be canceled tonight. We probably will strike the business that's in the committee in the month of July.
All right. I call the Zoning and Land Use Committee to order at 7:29. There's one piece of business on for tonight, from the docket of May 7th, 2019. I move to approve the petition of Morin's Inc. to discontinue a portion of Frank Mossberg Drive specified as Lot A, approximately 7,236 square feet, located on the northerly side of Frank Mossberg Drive, as shown on the plan entitled Street Discontinuance Plan of Land in Attleboro, Mass., prepared by John D. Bresmer, PLS of Hancock Associates, 183 Center Street, Danvers, Mass. 01923, dated April 8th, 2019.
Second.
All right. So we had the public hearing on this. We didn't hear any opposition. We've received, the planning board made a ruling on this, and I'll just read that quickly here. Dated June 4th, 2019, petition of Morin's Inc. to discontinue a portion of Frank Mossberg Drive. Dear Council President and Councilors, this is to certify that at the planning board meeting held on Monday, June 3rd, 2019, the planning board voted in the affirmative, 7 yeas, 0 nays, and 2 absent, to recommend that the municipal council approve the petition to discontinue a portion of Frank Mossberg Drive specified as Lot A, approximately 7,236 square feet and located on the northerly side of Frank Mossberg Drive, as shown on the plan entitled Street Discontinuance Plan of Land in Attleboro, Mass, prepared by John D. Bresner, PLS of Hancock Associates, 183 Center Street, Danvers, Mass, 01923, dated April 8, 2019. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So the planning board ruled unanimously to push this forward. We didn't see any opposition on at the public hearing, so I encourage people to support it. Any other comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. And that concludes my business for the Zoning and Land Use Committee. I call for an adjournment at 7:31.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned at 7:31.
Transportation and traffic is canceled for this evening.
I would like to call Budget and Appropriations Order at 7:31. From the docket of June 25th, 2019, I move to approve the request of the mayor to transfer $398.34 from account 11241-000-57830, citywide reserve fund for transfer to account 116-11000-511000, clerk salary and wages for funds to complete fiscal year 2019.
Second.
Thank you, Todd. This is pretty straightforward. Speaking with the city clerk earlier, this is just to get him through a small shortcoming for the rest of the year. Any other questions, concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. I will call to adjourn at 7:32.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned at 7:32. Thank you.
I'd like to call License Committee to order at 7:32. I have one motion this evening. From the docket of June 18, 2019, I entertain a motion to approve the application for a Class 2 auto license amended application for GMV Inc. DBA Buy Rider 957 Washington Street for 12 customer parking spaces and 58 display spaces.
Second.
So we have the public hearing on this, and if everybody remembers, it was JD Buy Rider, and they're just dropping the JD. Anybody have any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. I'd like to call for an adjournment at 7:33.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned at 7:33. Thank you.
Council Cooper, I just have the Richardson School, but that's
Oh,
been
yes,
continued,
canceled this
so I'm
evening,
not,
yep.
yeah. So, City Property and Claims Committee is canceled for this evening. Thank you.
Ordinance, Election, and Legislative Matters Committee to order at 7:33. Myself, Counselor Waterman, and Counselor Jackson. I just have one motion this evening. It's just to call for a public hearing. So from the docket of November 6, 2018, I call for a public hearing for July 18, 2019, for the addition of 10-2, Section 18 of the revised ordinance of the City of Attleboro as it pertains to ordinance adding permanent speed humps, speed cushions.
Second.
Thank you. So this has been in committee for a while now, and the school building committee is feeling like this needs to pass. They'd like to come to the public hearing to tell us, because they feel with the addition of the new high school, I don't know if you remember, that road's gonna be changing, there's gonna be a rotary, and they're thinking that this is connected to that there would be a permanent speed hump over there. So I think during the public hearing, we should hear what they have to say about that, basically. And I'm still waiting for the traffic and transportation. Present.
Thank you. Just, it's 10.4, I think you said 10.2.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
Just so
10
that
point,
we're clear.
so section 10.4, section 18, sorry.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
What is the date for the public hearing?
July 18th.
So my only concern with regards to that is that the Traffic Study Commission doesn't meet again until August 1st. And I know that, I don't know what your plans are to keep it open a little longer or anything like that. That'd be between you and the president, so.
We don't need to, we can still accept
Yeah.
information from the transportation traffic, just see how it goes that night, but I think my hope is that Attorney Jacoby will come speak on behalf of the construction of the road and the infrastructure there, and likely the mayor on sort of what his plan might be for permanent speed humps in other parts of the city, if that's what his plan is, so.
Who's gonna pay for it?
Well,
If I could just add really quick, so, just so you are aware, the Traffic Study Commission has been working on preparing that, not necessarily a presentation, but their response for, with regards to this, with some multiple recommendations. And the Traffic Study Commission actually sat with the School Building Commission to discuss the Rotary area and some of the areas on Rathbun Willard, putting in a speed table and things like that, where this ordinance is a little more specific towards residential zones and other areas in the city. And I don't think it would prevent them from being able to install those with the permission of the DPW. So if it's something that's, if there's a delay in this for any reason, not that we have any interest in delaying anything, but if there's any delay, they could be able to still move forward with that kind of construction.
I'll connect with Mr. Jacoby prior and try to get some information as well, and I think we'll have a public hearing and get more information. And go from there. Is any from my committee, anybody have any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the motion passes. And that's all the business this evening for ordinance, election, legislative matters. I'll call for an adjournment.
Second.
Thank you. We are adjourned at 7:37.
Public Safety and Emergency Management has no business this evening to bring forward.
Special committee canceled. Special committee canceled.
Canceled special committee on tax abatement, and we have some things up and coming but canceled.
Okay. Looks like Steve. I won't put his name in upside down, although that would be kind of funny. You let Steve know? Do you have something? He does? Oh, yeah, you do, you have two.
You brought those? Oh, I didn't have it.
No wonder I was looking at you
Me
with a
too,
big
and
question mark, like, why
I
aren't you
thought, did you
reading
vote
those?
them out
But I-
last week and not out of committee?
Yeah.
So I'll just,
I know I had business coming before the regular council.
yes, did you vote these out?
Yeah, because the copy I have is here.
Mine too. Oh, wait a minute, no, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Hold on.
They weren't voted out last week?
Okay.
No?
No, 'cause this
Guess
is
not.
No, this from the docket.
It's from the docket of, yes, so
Okay.
you can do
I
them now.
thought, all right, it was a little confusing last week then. Call Public Safety Emergency Management to order at 7:38. I have two motions this evening. I entertain a motion to approve the request of the mayor for the expenditure by the Attleboro Police Department of approximately $93,651 from FY 2020 EOPSS grant from the Executive Office of Public Safety and Security, State 911 Department, as well as approve any further grant amendments.
Second.
Thank you. This is a grant that comes down. We've been lucky to get it, numerous times before. And kudos again for their grant writing abilities. It makes it very, very possible to train our officers and whatnot. Yes, Mr. Delicio.
Thank you, Council Blair. I'd just add, again, this is another example of the partnership that's built between the Attleboro Police Department and the EOPSS, which, again, as you said, and I don't want to belabor the point, but I think that fact can't be overlooked. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. From the docket of June 25th, 2019, I entertain a motion to approve the request of the mayor to appropriate $43,050 from account 1000-359000, undesignated fund balance free cash general government, to account 12201-000-558320, foul weather gear, for the purchase of personal protective equipment for 7 new fire recruits.
Second.
Pretty self-explanatory. I keep wanting to say we've talked about this, but hearing no comment, all those in favor?
Aye.
I have a question.
Excuse me, Mr. Warden.
I think this is great, but my understanding is there are still other firefighters without a second set. Is that something I can?
That, Mr. President?
So I wrote this down because I feel like we did talk about this, but
Yeah.
the rest of the foul weather gear for the remainder of the fire department, so they will all have a second set, is in the fiscal year 20 budget. After July 1st, they can place the order. Everybody got it?
Yep.
This money is to pay for for 2 sets for the new recruits. Everybody got it? The gear extractor, we're waiting for either the Senate or the mayor to send it down. If we don't get it from the Senate, the mayor has committed to it. Everybody got it?
Correct.
Perfect. We're good.
You're good. Mr. Delicio?
Credit where credit's due, we've asked for it, it came down again. Thank you, President Cooper, for your comments, because that's what I was gonna add, that these are for the recruits, not the second set of PPEs, which is, I think in this landscape, it's very important to make that distinction.
Right.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Have no other business this evening. Move to adjourn at 7:42.
Second.
I'm still confused.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Did
You
you-
didn't say it.
Oh, you didn't say all, everybody, all in favor?
Aye. All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned at 7:42.
Thank you. Anything else? Anybody want to take a quick break before we go right into, okay, great.
Yeah, I think we ought to take a break. I got 8:15 on my time.
At this time, we call the special meeting of the municipal council back to order at 7:43. And we will go right to committee reports, and we'll start right with Council Jackson.
Wow, this is good. Reporting for Public Works Committee, from the docket of June 25th, 2019, I entertain a motion to approve the request of the mayor to appropriate $20,000 from the Wastewater Enterprise Fund retained earnings account to the Wastewater Enterprise Fund professional services for an unexpected legal bill incurred this fiscal year by the wastewater department.
Second.
Thank you.
Thank you. Motion's in order. Any questions or comments?
No. Oops.
Councilor Reynolds?
So, with your permission, Counselor Jackson, I have an issue with them asking for 20 when the bill is only 10. And yes, maybe more will come out, but I'm already have a question about the other money, the 6,000 maybe being spent before we gave it to them. I just don't, I would like to know when this continuing legal fees come. I don't want to give them 20 and then not know, and then they come forward for another 20 possibly, and we've already lost that extra 10 that has been added on when the fee hasn't been charged yet. Am I making some sense here to all of you? So my feeling is that we should appropriate the 10, because that's what the bill was. And when another appropriation is needed because something is happening, that's when we will appropriate that money, and we'll all, and I come from this having, being a city property and claims. I think I would feel more comfortable that we wait until the real claim money comes forward. There's a need for it.
Councilor Jackson?
Thank you. I understand exactly what you're saying. But again, this was an April bill. We're almost at July. It's still a pending litigation, and you know how attorneys are.
Yes.
So we've probably accrued already that much money. I don't know. But we also do get a report all the time.
I haven't gotten it.
From our city
Have
solicitor.
not gotten it.
No, well, we should ask.
I've been
because
asked.
you're very good. You get always
Yeah.
asked for that updated report and where everything's going, what we're paying. So rather than just always coming down to us, and especially because we're going to be out July and August most of the month anyway. Yeah.
I can see both sides, but I do have a discomfort level with giving them the money without having.
Okay. Councilor Delicia?
100% I agree. You know, I mean, this is a little unsettling, so I guess I would have an ask of Sarah, if you could just continue
I
to
will
try to
continue
get
to
that
try to get
report.
that.
And it's important to note that it's a transfer, and it's going into their professional services, which generally, that's what that line item is generally for the, for the legal fees. And I think that we still have some semblance of control, and what I would ask from the DPW chair is if you'd be so kind as to request, you know, for
When
a
they get the bill.
notification as soon as we get it, so, because
And-
I want to make sure that we're tracking that money, and, you know, we always talk about, you know, we're going to be more fiscal watchdogs and all this. Here's an opportunity where we have the chance to do that.
Sure, I can do that. I'd be happy to.
So I also, we got it today, just came today, the monthly solicitor's report. I look at it every month, and if there's anything on there that I don't like or I don't agree with, I point it out to the mayor if I think things are in the wrong department, particularly when they come to the council and I didn't sort of have that conversation or I didn't know. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen, and I do look at it. And I think that goes to everybody. If it doesn't, we
Actually,
can.
I didn't get it.
Yeah,
I didn't get it, which,
If I may, I just pulled it up. It is actually specific only to municipal council business, as opposed to.
I asked him to do
every
that.
And instead of being in total for the entire community,
But I
city.
think I get the one with everything.
I think that
do,
you
I do
do,
too.
and this was sent, to, the president, the vice president, and, Council Reynolds.
I didn't get it.
It's just,
So we'll
how
have to
much-
check and make sure that we'll
Update it.
get that, and we'll get an update to everyone,
Okay.
just to make sure that everybody got it.
And I'll
this month.
follow up with what Councilor Delicio
Thank you, I
had
appreciate it.
suggested, and as soon as he gets
Great.
the bills, will be updated that, yes, this is what they've done.
I appreciate it,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call vote is required, and we'll begin with Council Jackson.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Mr. Conti?
Yes.
Mr. Cobus?
Yes.
Vice President Parika?
yes.
Mr. Delicio?
Yes,
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
President Cooper?
Yes,
11 yeas, 0 nays.
thank you, motion passes.
Thank you. From the docket of June 25th, 2019, I move to approve the request of the mayor to transfer $300 from account Citywide Reserve Fund for transfer to account Public Works bill previous year to pay a DPW fiscal year 18 invoice.
Second.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, motion to none. Any questions or comments, Council Jackson?
I just had said this a few moments ago, that, you know, this has to do with Sterry Street Towing, who towed one of our beastly street sweepers.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments from the council? Council Conti?
I can't resist. It is a beast. It costs less money for me to hire Sterry Towing to send my parents' car from Florida to Attleboro. It is a beast. That concludes my comments, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Thank you. A roll call vote is required, and we'll begin with Councilor Blair.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Mr. Delicio?
yes,
Vice President Parika?
Yes.
Mr. Cobus?
Yes.
Mr. Conti?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
President Cooper?
Yes,
11 yeas, 0 nays.
thank you, motion passes.
Thank you. From the docket of June 25th, 2019, I move to approve the request of the mayor to transfer $6,000 from account Water Enterprise Fund Chemicals to account Water Enterprise Fund Professional Services to pay for security cameras for the water pumping station and the water treatment plant.
second.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you,
should
motion
just,
in order.
I
Councilor
should
Jackson?
just add, to pay for security cameras that might already be up there and I don't know about it and nobody told me. Yeah, and I'm not happy right now. But anyways, that's all I have to say at this
Thank you.
moment.
Heather, we
Yes.
don't want to comment.
President Cooper.
Thank you. So, at this time, since we said it's not an emergency and we think it might be done, I'm going to respectfully request that we don't vote on this. We withdraw the second. And I want to know if they're put in before this council authorized the money.
Okay, I'm game.
And if you're not open to that, Council Jackson, I'm going to sit right here when we vote, and I'm going to exercise a charter objection, because I want to know. Because if this is happening, it's going to stop today. period, the end.
Amen.
Kudos.
So who's going to withdraw the second? Oh, we have to wait.
Withdrawn.
Thank you.
Thank you, moving right along. Council
Thank you
Jackson.
very much. From the docket of June 18th, 2019, I move to approve the change of the street name Fuller Ave South to Hopper Lane in Attleboro.
Second.
Thank you.
Thank you, motion's in order. Any questions or comments?
Nope, I'm just happy to be able to do this and make some residents happy in Attleboro. More residents happy.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, this requires a roll call vote, and we'll begin with Counselor Jackson.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Mr. Conti?
Yes.
Mr. Cobus?
Yes.
Vice President Parika?
Yes.
Mr. Delissio?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
President Cooper?
Yes,
11 yeas, 0 nays.
thank you, motion passes.
Thank you. I have no further business this evening for Public Works Committee, but I do call for a committee meeting at the appropriate time in July, and I thank you all for your participation.
Thank you. Counselor Waterman.
From the docket of June 25th, 2019, I move to approve the request of the mayor to confirm the appointment of Toby Reed, 27 Lamb Street, to fill an expired term on the Board of Library Trustees, term to expire February 2022.
Second.
Thank you, motion's in order. Any comments?
No, I think we have an excellent candidate.
Agreed. Any other questions or comments from the council? Seeing none, a voice vote is required. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, motion passes.
Thank you. And again, from the docket of June 25th, 2019. I move to approve the request of the mayor relative to the Community Development Block Grant for fiscal year 2019 for approximately $12,652, and approve the expenditure of such funds and any further grant amendments by the Council on Aging.
Second.
Thank you, motion's in order. Any comments?
I just want to say that this provides the funding for an outreach shine counselor. When we say outreach, we mean somebody who goes into the community. This doesn't happen at the senior center. This is outreach, which is very crucial to what we do. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the council? Seeing none, a roll call vote is required, and we'll begin with Counselor Blair.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Mr. Delissio?
Yes.
Vice President Parika?
Yes.
Mr. Cobus?
Yes.
Mr. Conti?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
President Cooper?
Yes,
11 yeas, 0 nays.
thank you, motion passes.
From the docket of June 25th, 2019, I move to approve the request of the mayor relative to the fiscal year 2020 formula grant of approximately $94,812, and approve the expenditure of such funds and any further grant amendments by the Council on Aging.
Second.
Thank you, motion's in order. Any comments, Counselor Jackson?
I would
I mean
like-
Waterman, I'm sorry.
Perfectly all right. I don't look quite as good. I don't have as much hair. I would like to say that this provides funding for the Council on Aging for clerical support staff, fitness instructors, guest speakers, our annual volunteer recognition, and supplies and expenses. So it's very important.
Excellent. Any other questions or comments? Vice President Parika?
Okay, Counselor Waterman, there aren't always a lot of times that business comes through our committee that makes us feel like super great, except for changing street names and things like that. I know how important the senior center is to you and how much time that you spend there. So just enjoy these next couple of minutes, being able to read how the activities that you participate in and the friends that you make over there will be well cared for because of their efforts over there. So.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call vote is required, and we'll begin with Counselor Blair.
I think it's Councilor Jackson.
Oh, it's Counselor Jackson.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Mr. Conti?
Yes.
Mr. Cobus?
Yes.
Vice President Parika?
Yes.
Mr. Delissio?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
President Cooper?
Yes,
11 yeas, 0 nays.
thank you, motion passes.
from the docket of June 25th, 2019, I move to approve the request of the mayor relative to the fiscal year 2020 Shine Grant of approximately $97,107, and approve the expenditure of such funds by the, and unfortunately, it says further grant amendments by the Council on Aging.
Second.
This figure is derived from the, we don't know exactly how many seniors we have till we have the census, but it's derived from how many seniors we have in the city. And it's so much per senior. And this money goes also to the Regional Shine Director and the program, and it allows funding for counselor training, healthcare benefits, and supplies.
And just, Council Waterman, just so that we don't have any issue with Madeline being able to expend this money if we didn't do it right, just make a friendly amendment to make sure that this is worded correctly, and it really should be expenditure of such funds by the Council on Aging and any future grant amendments. And
thank you.
move the by Council on Aging up a sentence. That's what was wrong with the.
I offer up that friendly amendment.
Thank you, Council Jackson.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. We don't have to vote it. It's just a friendly amendment. Are you set?
Yes, I'm
Any
set.
other questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call vote is required, and we'll begin with Councilor Blair.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Mr. Delissio?
Yes.
Vice President Perica?
Yes.
Mr. Cobus?
Yes.
Mr. Conti?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
President Cooper?
Yes.
11 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
And from the docket of June 25th, 2019, I move to approve the request of the mayor to confirm the appointment of Thomas Mattos, 42 Linden Street, Unit 2, to fill an unexpired term on the Personnel Board, term to expire February 2022.
Second.
Thank you. Motion's in order. Any additional comments?
No, I think Thomas Mattos has shared himself quite well with us. We're very lucky to have him here.
Agreed. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, this requires a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Motion passes.
From the docket of June 25th, 2019, I move to approve the request of the mayor to confirm the appointment of Randall Vincent, 17 Westbrook Lane, to fill an expired term as the Inspector of Wires. Term to expire February 2022.
Second.
Thank you. Motion's in order. Any other questions or comments?
No comments. I think we all said them.
Great. This requires a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes.
That concludes the business this meeting. I would like to call the Personnel and Human Services Committee to meet the next time we meet in July.
Great, thank you. Council Conti.
Mr. President, the Capital Improvement and City Development Committee has no business to bring before the council this evening. However, we wish to have a scheduled meeting in the month of July.
Great, thank you. Council Cobus.
Reporting for the Zoning and Land Use Committee, from the docket of May 7th, 2019, I move to approve the petition of Borns Inc. to discontinue a portion of Frank Mossberg Drive specified as Lot A, approximately 7,236 square feet, located on the northerly side of Frank Mossberg Drive, as shown on the plan entitled Street Discontinuance Plan of Land in Attleboro, Mass., prepared by John D. Bresmer, PLS of Hancock Associates, 183 Center Street, Danvers, Mass. 01923, dated April 8th, 2019.
Second.
Thank you. Motion's in order. Any comments?
We just talked about this in the committee. We had the public hearing. We didn't hear any people opposing it. We've heard from the planning board. They voted on June 3rd unanimously to support this. So I think it's fairly straightforward, and it's a no-brainer.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call vote is required, and we'll begin with Council Jackson.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Mr. Conti?
Yes.
Mr. Cobus?
Yes.
Vice President Perica?
Yes.
Mr. Delissio?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
President Cooper?
Yes.
11 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
That concludes my business for the Zoning and Land Use Committee. I call for a committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
Perfect. Vice President Pritchett.
Thank you. Reporting for traffic and transportation and traffic this evening. I do not have any business to discuss this evening. I just wanted to, I was asked to make the public aware that there'll be a public meeting presenting ideas for traffic improvements with regards to Exit 3 and Route 123 this coming Monday, July 1st at 6 p.m. in the Balfour Room at the Attleboro Public Library. The Attleboro residents are invited to participate in the planning and implementation of potential solutions to decrease accidents and congestion affecting motorists in this area. It's hosted by State Rep Jim Hawkins and the mayor because it is a state-owned piece of land and they're the ones that are working on that. So I just want to let people know. Other than that, I call for a committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
Great, thank you.
Reporting for budget and appropriations, I have one piece of business to bring forward tonight from the docket of June 25th, 2019. I move to approve the request of the mayor to transfer $398.34 from account Citywide Reserve Fund for transfer to account clerk salary and wages for funds to complete fiscal 2019.
Second.
Thank you. Motion's in order. Any other questions or comments?
Talked about this 20 minutes ago.
Great. This requires a roll call vote, and we'll begin with Council Blair.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Mr. Delissio?
Yes.
Vice President Perica?
Yes.
Mr. Cobus?
Yes.
Mr. Conti?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Mrs. Jackson?
Yes.
President Cooper?
Yes.
11 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you, and just a real quick thank you to Councilors Cobus and Dolan for their efforts this weekend in collecting for the Attleboro fireworks. We had the second annual competition between the Municipal Council and the Attleboro Youth Commission, where the combined total of $839 were raised, so thank you
You're not going to
for
tell
your
them
effort.
who won?
Well, they know the Youth Commission won. I don't think it's really ever a question.
I figured you'd have another opportunity though, you know.
You know, facts are facts, scoreboard,
Listen, you know, I'm all right with that.
That being said, I would like to call for a meeting at next month, appropriate time.
Perfect, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Council Dolan.
Reporting for License Committee, I have one motion this evening. I move to, from the docket of June 18th, 2019, I move to approve the application for a Class 2 auto license amended application for GMV Inc., DBA by right at 957 Washington Street for 12 customer parking spaces and 58 display spaces.
Second.
Thank you. Motion's in order. Any comments?
No, we just discussed this and they're just dropping the JD.
Perfect. Any other questions from the council? Seeing none, a roll call vote is required, and we'll begin with Council Jackson.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Mr. Conti?
Yes.
Mr. Cobus?
Yes.
Vice President Perica?
Yes.
Mr. Delissio?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
President Cooper?
Yes.
11 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
That's all the business I have for Licenses Committee, and I'd like to call for a committee meeting at the next appropriate time, please.
Great. Council Reynolds.
City Property and Claims has no business this evening, but I would like to call a meeting at the next appropriate time.
Council Holmes.
Thank you. Ordinance, election, and legislative matters has no business this evening, but we'll call for committee meeting next month.
Perfect. Council Blair.
I don't know how I'm gonna waste 11 minutes. Reporting for Public Safety and Emergency Management. I have two motions this evening. From the docket of June 25th, 2019, I move to approve the request of the mayor for the expenditure by the Attleboro Police Department of approximately $93,651 for the FY 2020 EOPSS grant from the Executive Office of Public Safety and Security, State 911 Department, as well as approve any further grant amendments.
Second.
We just talked about this earlier, and it's good money for training and whatnot on our 9/11 program in Attleboro.
Great. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, this requires a roll call vote, and we'll begin with Council Blair.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Mr. Delissio?
Yes.
Vice President Perica?
Yes.
Mr. Cobus?
Yes.
Mr. Conti?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
President Cooper?
Yes.
11 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank every one of you. I'll go by name. I'll let it flow a few minutes. From the docket of June 25th, 2019, I move to approve the request of the mayor to appropriate $43,050 from account 1000-35900, undesignated fund balance free cash general government, to account
12201-000-558320, fire, foul weather gear for the purchase of personal protective equipment for the 7 new recruit firefighters.
Second.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Motion's in order.
Mr. Cooper, for explaining that earlier. Any
Thank you.
questions or comments?
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, this requires a roll call vote, and we'll begin with Counsel Jackson.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Mr. Conti?
Yes.
Mr. Cobus?
Yes.
Vice President Parika?
Yes.
Mr. Delissio?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes,
President Cooper?
Yes,
11 yeas, 0 nays.
thank you, motion passes.
thank you. I have no other business this evening. Request the committee meeting next month at the appropriate time. Move to adjourn at 8:06.
Not yet. Two quick things. The Richardson School Tour is tentatively scheduled for July 2nd, but there's a lot of us away and things are happening that week that I think Council Reynolds is gonna circle back with the planning department and try to figure out an alternate date for people to attend. So be watching your emails for that. And that meeting will need to be posted because we're at risk of open meeting violation with the public hearing still open, and if 6 of us or more, or 2 from the same committee attend, we don't wanna do anything we shouldn't. And lastly, I will be out of town. Vice President Parika will be the acting president from this Friday until the 8th, July 8th. And with that is a wrap. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Excellent.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you. We are adjourned at 8:07.
Happy summer, everyone.
Yes, thank you.
Win anyway, 'cause you get, we'll just close this without going over, so you win anyway.